Chapter 12. Dying is better. Dying is better. Chung Myeong's face as he returned to the dorms was completely rotten. Nothing was going right. People said that even if a rich man failed, he lived 3 years in luxury. Judging from the current situation, it seemed like 100 years was too far-fetched. There was no way the Mount Hua Sect was any better than some third-rate sect. No, even a third-rate sect would do better. This sect has no money, and the children are in poor condition. If that wasn't bad enough, they're full of shitty philosophy that no one understands. Everything was fine, yes, everything was fine, but where did you throw away the 24 plum blossom swords, you bastards? He could understand prioritizing one technique over another because of the difficulties of the sect or teaching abilities of the remaining instructors, but making a technique totally disappear is a whole different thing. Even given the fact that the previous generation was annihilated, they had left money and history behind. Chung Myeong scratched his head. Where should I even start? The term total chaos would be used in such cases. Sahyung, can I even save Mount Hua? When he lifted his head and looked up, it seemed like the old man was smiling down. Save. Chung Myeong grabbed a handful of soil and threw it to the sky and went back to his dorms. Ow, my waist, he said as his waist hurt from all the horse dances he did. Just because they talked a little during the training, that man made them train extra. If only Chung Myeong was as strong as his previous life, he could go back and forth from the summit to the base of Mount Hua with minimal effort. I need to hurry. Chung Myeong lost his appetite. At first, he was going to try and figure out how Mount Hua worked and think about fixing it. But the more he found out, the more trouble he felt. It would have been much easier if Chung Myeong had passed on to the current time with his past body and mind. However, right now, Chung Myeong was nothing more than the youngest disciple, a beggar nonetheless, which meant the lowest level. Could he change the position of Mount Hua? He couldn't help but let out a sigh while thinking. Of course, he could take his time and slowly change it. However, the problem was that Chung Myeong wasn't the laid-back kind. The more he saw the current Mount Hua, the more rushed he felt. Even the Wudang sect must be developing at this moment. In general, martial arts focus on practice and repetition. However, Chung Myeong had a different idea. The world is continuously evolving. No matter how many people in the past were geniuses, if they continue to study, even the new generation will turn into geniuses. In the end, they are bound to surpass the realm of those ancient geniuses. In other words, it means that martial arts would eventually develop with the passage of time. If Shaolin didn't constantly try to enhance their existing martial arts, that sect wouldn't be so flourishing now. Over the years, numerous people will come up and fill the gaps of martial arts. Right. Progress. Other people are making progress at this time, and these people are forgetting what they have. How could he not be upset? Chung Myeong took a deep breath. For now, Chung Myeong gulped. He looked down at his stomach. Because he had been living as a beggar for so long, he couldn't properly develop his body. I couldn't eat dinner. After all the others finished training, he wanted to eat, but Chung Myeong was punished, so he couldn't. In the past and now, there was nothing he hated more than fasting. Things turned out more difficult and annoying when he was hungry. Chung Myeong grabbed his stomach as he entered the dorms. First of all, he had to organize some things. Hey, he's here! Upon entering, Chung Myeong raised his eyes slightly towards those who appeared. Dozens of disciples of the third generation were in the room. Hey, newcomer! Chung Myeong gazed lazily towards them. Seeing their faces, it didn't look like they were waiting with any good intentions. Chung Myeong took a deep breath, opened his mouth, and said to Jogul, What child? Jogul's face heated up in an instant. This bastard must be crazy. Call me Jogul Sahyung. Sahyung? Chung Myeong looked at the ceiling. Looking at the old ceiling and wooden buildings, he wanted to cry. Now he was in a position where he had to refer to these little jerks as Sahyungs. But what could he do? He should have done something earlier if he didn't like that. Yes, Jogul Sahyung, what is it? If you are new, you need to go through the hazing ritual. Huh? Don't worry, it won't be too bad. You look too weak. I'm afraid that you'd die if I hit you a bit too hard. Laughter erupted from the sides. Everyone seemed to enjoy the joke. Well, he understood the situation. This is the essence of what dorm lives are. Through these types of situations, the bonds between the people grow stronger, and they learn and connect with each other. Almost everyone giggled. Their personality seems a bit bad. He wasn't dissatisfied with hazing, but what he hated was the attitude of these people, acting like it was their own gang. Of course, when Chung Myeong first entered Mount Hua, it was similar, but at least they didn't act like these kids. Huh? This is something an old man would say? So what? I'm in my 80s. Hazing. Chung Myeong nodded his head. First of all, it will be important to handle these people. His stomach hurts, but what could he do? He was here to save Mount Hua. Right. What can I do? Great Sahyung, Jogul said as he smiled. Yes. Great Sahyung? Chung Myeong turned his head and saw the one called Great Sahyung. One span bigger than Jogul and definitely older. This guy was another person under the third generation. I'll do as I see fit? Yes, of course. In Chung Myeong's head, the current order of people flashed in an instant. That guy is higher, but Jogul takes lead. It was the same in his time. Although Sahyung was the sect leader, it was Chung Myeong who would always help clear the problems for him. The position of sect leader and actual strength was not the same. If so, then this situation, take it off. Huh? Chung Myeong's head tilted. Did he hear something wrong? I said, take it off. Chung Myeong looked around. He looked at the kids inside. Everyone was looking at him as if they were having fun. Chung Myeong's gaze turned to Jogul. I feel like I'm misunderstanding something. Chung Myeong tried to smile. Let's not get mad. Let's not get angry. If he got angry, he would be the same as these kids. Take it off? Yes, Jogul smirked. That is how we normally get to know each other. Come on, take it off. Dance and get beaten because that is how we show our love to the new ones. Jogul's lips turned into a smile. Now. Huh? You feel shy. Unable to properly sound out his words, Chung Myeong coughed up and then tried to speak. Then, how about Sasu? He'll be practicing for the evening. You better throw away the thought of him coming here to help you. Right now, we're the only ones here. I see. Chung Myeong nodded his head. And even if he was here, you would be fine for today. But you'll have to live here from now on. So do you really think you'd be able to escape? Right. This is where I will be living. Thanks. My thoughts had been a bit wrong until now. Then that means there are no other Sasuks here as well? This bastard just keeps talking. I can't hold back anymore. Let's get right to it. Jogul jumped up from his seat and grabbed Chung Myeong by the collar. Once you get the hang of it, you'll respect me as your Sahyung. I'm not doing this because I hate you. We're using this to love and put you on the right path. Get it? Sahyung. What? Anything left to say? Clench your teeth. Huh? At that moment, Chung Myeong's fist hit Jogul's lower jaw. Bang! With the sound of something exploding, Jogul's body soared to the ceiling. Crack! And he broke through the old ceiling. Crack! Jogul's body, which was nailed into the ceiling, shook. Everything turned quiet. The eyes of the other disciples went wide. Chung Myeong took a glimpse at Jogul, then turned and walked towards the door. Where are you going? Clank! Chung Myeong raised the latch and locked the door, and then he turned with a bright smile on his face. As a person goes through life, they worry about this and that, and among them, the most frustrating headache of all is to decide from where they should begin. But, crack, crack, loosening his head, he continued, thanks to you, my thinking has turned very simple. Right, I need to start with organizing my surroundings. Chung Myeong raised his leg and stepped on the chair next to him and shattered it. Grabbing the broken leg of the chair, he smiled. And he went up to one of them. I grew up growing in my own way. So would I have the manners to treat my seniors rightly? A small hope loomed in their hearts as he called them seniors. Seniors. Since you are my seniors, I will have to trouble you. Don't scream out loud. Any screaming bastard will receive double the dose. Ah, we weren't the seniors. Let's start with a beating, you Sahyung bastards. Chung Myeong, as if possessed, attacked the disciples.